What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today we are going into some more FUT Champs games. I honestly don't remember what gameplay this is because I'm quite a bit ahead. This is Sunday's video and I'm recording it on Sunday afternoon. I've already played the games for Monday's video and then I'm going to play the rest of the games today for Tuesday's video. However, I think we're early. I think we're 15 games in. I think we're 12-3. Well, that's where we're at. We're 12-3 after 15 games. So a good start, a positive start to my FUT Champs run, which is good because everything I've been doing leading up to this point has been for this. It's, you know, stopped on the pack only account, built a fun team, like just trying to like change things up. Now there are some phenomenal questions and we've only got about 18 minutes of talk time, so I'm going to try and get through it as much as possible. However, first and foremost, in the last episode, or maybe the one before, I talked a little bit about just the negativity in the comments and the way people address things, and somebody left a comment actually, let me find it. It's the Chosen One, great name. He says, "Hey Nep, apologies in regards to the inconsiderate fools who try to bring you down. I love your content as you've improved my gameplay and trading methods a lot. You've also achieved a lot without using money, proving that you don't need money to get an amazing team. Keep up the good work because 95% of your fans have you back." And thank you for that, dude. It's much appreciated. And after I made that video, I actually made another video last night. I did the outro to the next episode, you know, where I go on afterwards and talk about the gameplay and stuff. And it was just me bitching and complaining. And I finished recording it, and I was just like, I don't want to put that live. I just don't want that to be out there, because what happens is in YouTube and in FIFA and in social media and in real life, in all aspects of life, you always let the little things pile on top and forget about the big picture. And the big picture here is there's around 100,000 people per episode that come to this channel. That's first and foremost, that's an incredible achievement. That's a lot of people. That's crazy. So even if 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5,000 of those people aren't pleased, that's still 95,000 or more people that are pleased, which is great. So I wanted to, like, I'm trying this year, last year, since about FIFA 12 or 13, trying to really focus on the positives of everything and not the negatives of everything. And after I finished recording the outro of tomorrow's video, I was just sitting there thinking, man, I was just crying. I was just complaining, and it's not a good look. And how can I say to people in the video, in the comment section, hey bros, don't address me negatively, and then in the next video be like FIFA this and FIFA that, and basically I was complaining a bit because, spoiler alert, mute for 10 seconds if you don't want to know, but my weekend league has fallen apart, like absolutely collapsed. I've bottled it completely. And a lot of it is down to me just defending badly. You know, I'm in a situation still where I have to just start accepting the fact that I've reached a peak, and I'm, you know, on my mediocre level, I'm at a level of about 28 to 29 wins. Some weeks I can get a bit more, some weeks I get a bit less, and I've just got to accept that. I've got to accept the fact that that's the level that I'm at. However, as I said, guys, we've got some great comments. Some great comments. I think I had one. So the first one we're going to talk about is from Horror. Now this didn't get many thumbs up, but this is something that interests me a lot because it could be a real thing, it could be a fake thing. But I want to read it. It's quite long, but here we go. Horror says, "Hey Nep, I don't know if you know this or talked about this, but I would just like to point it out. Chris Smalling's in-game stats are 76 acceleration and 77 sprint speed, and all of his other stats, of course. If you go into play a friend squad with a second controller and put one on each team and see the in-game stats and put the difficulty on ultimate and then pause the game, whoever is playing as the away team, their Smalling has 99 sprint speed and 97 acceleration. Smalling stats on semi-pro are 76 acceleration and 77 sprint speed. So when you're trying to get past someone who has put down the controller, you are versus a semi-pro CPU. I don't know how this will help you or do anything. I would just like to let you know, I've been thinking about this, and if scripting is true, which he doesn't believe, your Smalling might become a difficulty of professional, and then scripting or handicap could be true. Probably not, but just a thought." And this was intriguing to me, and I've done no research. I've done nothing to confirm these claims. I will go and I'll actually make a post on Reddit about this and open up a topic of discussion on there, because there's a couple of dudes on Reddit that are just really into this fact-finding stuff that know, you know, they do it really quickly and they're really like engaged in it. So I absolutely want to get this on board. But I don't believe in scripting, and I don't believe in handicap. But I'm on the fence with momentum. I've said many times. Sometimes I sit there and think, okay, I was winning and now all of a sudden I can't touch the ball. I try and rationalise it and say, okay, he's probably done something different. Maybe he's gone attacking. Maybe he's changed his tactics, his formation. Maybe he's changed just the way he's playing. Lots of things could have changed to swap between me dominating a game to me not dominating a game. But if there is such a thing, that, like, what could happen here? This could be a discussion. This could be a discussion topic for two things. Number one, this could be a discussion for momentum, because if this happens offline, there is a opportunity for it to be available online. I'm not saying it is available online or it's not available online, but for argument's sake, let's say that you're winning 2-0, or let's say that it's 0-0 and all players across the game are on the same stats, and you go 1-0 up. And now all of a sudden the game, let's say the AI is on semi-pro, which is base card stats according to this information. Let's say now that AI moves your opponent's AI up to professional. So they get a small boost in stats, just a small boost. It doesn't actually make them a better player. And this is where I say things like if there is such things, as long as you're better than your opponent, you should win anyway, right? But if the whole team gets boosted up a little bit, and then they've got better stats, and then maybe you go 2-0 up and they get boosted up from professional to world class. Now maybe they're Chris Smalling instead of, the AI version of Chris Smalling, instead of having 77 pace, has now got 87 pace. Who knows? Who knows? That could be a thing. So it could be a thing that could, you could argue that for momentum swings, right? You could also argue that for handicap. It could be a situation again, and unless there's some absolute facts proven here, it could be a situation where if you've got an 88 rated team and you come up against an 82 rated team, it puts the AI of the lower rated team higher. So when you're in control of the actual player, it doesn't affect anything. But when you're not in control of the players, it actually affects their impact. And that could be the way handicap works. As I say, I personally don't believe that would be the case. I don't believe that would be in the game, and that EA would be flat out say it doesn't exist, which they have done in a podcast in previous years, but also be able to hide it and get away with it and think that, you can't surely be sitting on a secret that big and just sit there hoping that your player base doesn't find out. I don't think that's something that would happen. So on that note, I would say this is definitely an interesting topic for discussion. Definitely something that the people that have the nous to do so can go and look at. But in general, I don't think that it's something that's going to come away with anything further than this only happens offline. But it is most definitely very, very interesting. It is very interesting. So thank you for that comment. So we go back to the first comment, Ido Uki. Actually, let me go to the one for about pace. So Felix M says, "Hey Nep, can you tell me about the pace stat and how it works? The 88 Son has 91 acceleration and 90 sprint speed, but has 92 pace. Another stat that might count into that is agility, but it's only 87. I wish EA would tell us more about this. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Keep up the good work as always." So from my understanding from previous years, and this might be outdated and it might be incorrect. By the way, this is where my downfall started, by the way, guys. I conceded the AIDS' first goal to this guy. I then conceded a long shot on Seamus Coleman's weak foot. And then I conceded a long shot to a volley from Chris Smalling. And then I conceded a long shot to Christian Eriksen. I was absolutely pumping this guy, and he just hit me with long shot after long shot. I got so angry and frustrated that even though I took a break after this game, I was still playing angry. And that was silly. And that was the downfall of me. And one of my biggest problems is, I can't do this over 3 days. 40 games for me is too much over 3 days because of how irrationally frustrated I get at this game when things are going wrong. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the way it works, from my understanding from previous years, it works like this. The stat, so he has 91 acceleration. That actually might be 91.99, but on the individual stats, on the in-game stats, EA round it down to a point instead of rounding it up to a point. So he might have 91.99 acceleration and 90.99 sprint speed, which would be essentially 92 and 91, right? And this is for argument's sake. But on the face card stat, which is the difference between the two, in pace it is just 50% acceleration, 50% speed, they round for some reason the face card stat up. So even though we only see 91 and 90 because we don't see the point something somethings at the end of it, if it is 91.7 and 90.8, when you combine the two of those and then divide them by 2, you have 91 point something, right? So if EA followed the same formula as in-game stats and rounded it down, he would have 91 pace, and you'd be able to understand how 91 acceleration and 90 sprint speed might make 91 pace. But for some reason they round it up. So even if he has a pace of 91.01 with the combined stats, EA will round that up to 92. I don't know why they do that, and as I say, that information, it may well be outdated, but I believe that to be correct still. So the reason why he might have those low points there is because they have a decimal that you can't see that is rounded down, and then his overall pace has a decimal that you can't see that is rounded up, and it gives a wide disparity. You can actually see it with quite a few players where they have like 95 sprint speed and 87 acceleration, so you would assume they would have 93 pace, but they actually have like 94 or 95 pace. Like it's weird. I don't know. It's weird how it works. Next up, we've got TNT Killer. Says, Nep, could you do a poll next video to see what ranks people normally finish in FUT Champs? I'll do it this video. So I'm going to put a poll in the description, guys, and it's going to have whether you can or can't qualify and what rank you finish, how many games you might play, things like that, as many questions as I can. But when you answer the poll, don't lie. Like, you know, if we're gonna get a poll on board to take into consideration genuinely where you guys finish, this set of viewers finish, anyone that just lies because they want to see better, no one knows it's you in there. So if you only finish silver 3 and you click silver 3, other people can't see that and be like, ha ha ha, you finished silver. You're just the statistic. So I will put the poll there, but be honest. Just be honest. Be honest where you normally finish. Not your best finish, your normal finish. I would say for me, my normal finish is Elite 3. So I would check Elite 3. Because, you know, if I did my best finish, Elite 1. If I did my worst finish, Gold 2. So, you know, I would say my normal finish is indeed Elite 3. Bradley Crawford says, Hi Nep, I think that EA should release 3 Team of the Week SBCs each week, and there are 3 different tiers. The lowest one getting you 1 Team of the Week player, second tier getting you 2, and the third tier getting you 3. Each tier you go up, you have to put a high rated squad. What do you think of this? Keep up the good work. I think the marquee matchups, the way they've done that, would be more interesting to me by adding a Team of the Week player like that. Because what will happen is, if you have something that gives you guaranteed Team of the Week players, like we see every time they have the guaranteed Team of the Week pack, what happens is the price of those Team of the Week players just falls apart. So if they did something every single week where you were guaranteed 1, 2, and then or 3 Team of the Week players, Team of the Week cards would have no value. You would end up having to spend more money to build the squad than you could possibly sell most of the Team of the Week cards for. I don't think it'd necessarily be good for the game. Not a bad idea, but just not something that I would personally enjoy. Matteo Hit says, EA should make FUT Champs once per 2 weeks, because playing it all weekend while it's nice and sunny outside is not how you'd want to spend your whole year doing. Just a thought. I personally believe that they should, I personally believe that they should change the whole ranking system, right, to something like League of Legends or Overwatch or Counter-Strike, where you can play ranked at any point in any day. And try and build up your rank through ELO and through just playing whenever. But the way the current FUT Champion structure is, I would either prefer it if they changed it to 4 days or a week league instead of a weekend league. So Monday to Friday instead of Friday to Monday. Or just put it Friday at 7 a.m. until Tuesday at 7 a.m. and gave us that extra 24 hours. Alternatively, I wouldn't mind it if it was 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So, you know, give people a break. Do you know what I mean? Like that weekend league that they did cancel FUT Champs a while back was a good time. But yeah, I would appreciate it if they gave us a little bit more break. Obviously, you don't have to play all 40 games, but to get the rewards, you kind of do. You know what I mean? You kind of do. Tom Coulson says, Hey Nep, in my opinion, this is how a Road to Glory should be done. The series has become a bit repetitive now, but I believe if you continue to upload videos with new squads, it will be a lot more enjoyable for us, the viewers. If you aren't taking FUT Champs too serious anymore, I believe it will be a better time for yourself and viewers if you change it on a weekly basis. Keep it up. But thank you for the nice comments, and I absolutely am taking FUT Champions serious still. I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do is take it serious by playing my best FIFA every game, but not taking it serious to the point where I get angry when I lose. Because it's been months and months and months of me getting frustrated at every loss, and nothing changes. I still lose games to players that I should beat. I still beat players that I should lose to. You know, this FIFA it is skill based, but it is not primarily skill based. Like, there is so much AI involvement in this game that you could play a guy in Foot Champs and lose to him, and then you could play him 5 more times in a friendly game and beat him all 5 times. And that's what frustrates me, because I can play my best FIFA and still lose. There's actually a game in tomorrow's episode where I'm absolutely dominating a guy for about 60 minutes, and I was unable to score, but I was sitting there. I'm trying to do this thing where I talk to myself in the game now, and I'm sitting there saying, just keep playing, like, you know, you're smashing him, you're buried in his box, eventually the goal will come, keep playing. And then what happened was he got a counter-attack, and I've got my 4 defenders back, and he's only got 1 attacker forward because he's so camped in his own box. And as he played the through ball through, because of the way that AI works, both of my defenders went to tackle the ball, and they ended up bumping into each other, and the ball just rolled between them, and then his striker just runs around the two defenders because they've hit each other, like, obviously they're not running and stuff. His attacker just runs around, picks up the ball, and goes and scores. And so I conceded a goal in around the 60th or 65th minute to a guy who I've been dominating, and I couldn't score after that, you know, because after that it wasn't like he was even trying to attack anyway, but after that he just sat defensively, started grinding out the time, you know, getting the ball and either punting it down the field or holding it in the corner. And that's viable tactic to defend. I don't agree with it personally, but it's a viable tactic. And I ended up losing the game because of an act of misfortune from the AI. Now, of course, that doesn't happen all the time, and if I was able to score a goal or 2, if I'd have done a few things different earlier on in the game, it might have been a scenario where that through ball never happened, so I never conceded, and then in turn I would have never lost the game. I know there were still things that I could have done to change it, but it is frustrating when the AI plays such a huge part in so many things in the game, that what I'm trying to do in terms of not taking Foot Champ seriously is I'm trying to remember that this game is for fun. Like YouTube, what I said at the start of the video, big picture. The big picture is I play FIFA every day for a living. Like, and I sit here and I get so irate over the smallest things in Foot Champs, forgetting that it doesn't, like, if I get 26 wins one week, everyone's not just going to stop watching me because I had a bad week on Foot Champs. Like, I've got to remember that. I've got to remember that this is for fun and I should enjoy it. So what I want to do whilst taking Foot Champs seriously in the future, what I do want to do is try and express myself a bit better through playing with players I don't usually play with, try new teams, do a few different things here or there. That's the aim. But anyway, guys, we are coming towards the end of the gameplay. I didn't quite get through all the questions again. This was another game that I lost that I just shouldn't have lost. It might have actually been this game where the through ball ended up being the goal. I can't remember, but that penalty was never a penalty either. I tackled him perfectly, couldn't manage to get back into the game. But anyway, guys, this will be the end of the gameplay. Let's get into the lives. Alright, guys, so after 15 games, we've got 12 wins. That's not too bad. I can't be too disappointed with being 12-3 after the way the last few weekends have gone. This weekend, I've tried to space my games out a bit. I've tried to, like, after a loss, just take a second and move away from the console, and it's worked. It just doesn't change the fact that I'm still a little bit frustrated with the losses that I've got. The last game that I just lost, the guy literally got a couple of really lucky bounces to get his first goal. I tackled him a couple of times and then the ball bounced off my defender, it fell to him and he got the goal. And then after that he started playing purposely like a dick. And not because it was me, just because that's, I guess, how he plays. I faced this once last week and it's irrelevant. I lost the game, fair and square, that's no problem. But it's a method that shouldn't be a viable method to defend in FIFA. And the way he was doing it is he just kept sliding through the side and the back of me constantly. Didn't get a red card. Sometimes he'd slide and it would break up the play, like break up a really good counter opportunity, and the ref would give me an advantage, and I would prefer he got a booking or a red card for it, but the ref would give an advantage and the play would continue. But the way it makes the body shape of the player move and the way the other players that are like getting into better positions move and stuff, like when someone stumbles on the ball, it allows the defender that extra couple of seconds to get back. And he broke up the play like that, and then kept giving me set pieces constantly instead of allowing me to play flowing football. And then on the stroke of half time, he got a penalty that just wasn't a penalty. And that really changed the game. Because after that, he went super defensive, probably ultra defensive, and was just like passing and standing still, waited till I pressed him, passed back to the right back, stood still, waited until I pressed him, passed into the centre back, stood still, waited until I pressed him, and just kept doing that for the rest of the game. I eventually got 1 goal back. I managed to put enough pressure on. I went all out attack, put enough pressure on, and got hold of the ball and got 1 goal in. But again, after that, he just kept breaking up the play, kept fouling me, kept doing his best to basically like see out the game. And that probably doesn't work for him often. He's probably not in a winning position enough often for that to work to him. But against me, unfortunately, on that occasion, it worked. So, as I say, if you would have said after 15 games you'll be 12-3, I would have said, yep, I'm fine with that. 4 wins per loss, that's no problem. That will get me to 12-3 will be 24-6. So after 30 games, I'll be in a position where I'm in a good spot. 24-6 would be okay. It's better than Elite Standard. It's Elite 2. I don't think it's Elite 1 Standard, because if I go 6 losses with 24 wins, I then need to win all last 10 games to get Elite 1. But moving up to Elite will be nice. Hopefully we'll be able to pick it up again. We've got a good start. We were 15-5 after 20 games last week. So as long as I don't go 3 wins and 2 losses in the next 5 games, which might be a possibility, I should be fine. Now, as I say, I've been trying to take breaks between the losses, and it has seemed to have worked. But Saturdays are always the days where I have my downfall. I was 7 wins, 1 loss. I was 8 wins, 1 loss. I was 9 wins. No, I was 8 wins, 1 loss. Then I lost to go 8-2. So now being 12-3, that's 4 wins per loss again. I'm okay with 4 wins per loss. I really am. I'm happy with that kind of win-loss ratio. I just got to make sure, like, the games that I've lost, all 3 of them, I've lost by 1 goal. And in games where I should have come back and won. You know what I mean? I think I lost one of them by 2 goals, 5-3 to that guy who just every attack for him was a goal. But I could, I know people get annoyed when I say this, but of all 3 losses, if I can, make sure I keep remaining calm, those sort of losses will start getting reduced. Because usually I take like 12, maybe sometimes 13 losses where I'm like, oh man, I should have done better. But this week we're keeping those down to a minimum. We're grinding out some wins. There was one game against the guy, I went 1-0 down. He was clearly horrendous. He gave me a penalty and I missed it. He gave me another penalty and got a red card and I scored it. And then I managed to grind out the win. And that's usually a game that I'll end up losing. Both teams that I've got here, I'm very happy with both of them. I'm enjoying this team. I'm definitely going to get rid of Sterling. I like Sterling. Let's not beat around the bush. I think he's a good card. But there are a few times that he's cost me opportunities. In fact, in the game that I just lost, he was clean through on goal and hit the shot. And because he was with his left foot 2-star, it went wide, which is a goal that really should have gone in. I get so frightened, or not frightened, but I lose a lot to people who have that 87 Mane. So I think I'm going to go and buy that 87 Mane. I sold some items here. Someone bid on my Niang for 35k. He was selling. I bought him for 28k, I think. And I listed him up when, like, one of the Sky Sports pundits was saying that Niang's playing well. So I thought, let me throw him up on open bid and see what he goes for. Because his lowest price was already about what I paid for him. So I thought, worst case scenario, we're going to lose tax. And then somebody came in with a 35,000 coin bid, so I was happy with that. We sold a few of the bronze players that I was packing through the bronze pack method, which is pretty nice. And then, of course, I've got a lot of players here. And then I've also went and bought 3 Manes because he's playing for City right now. Now it's 0-0 right now, but he's actually playing well. I bought him for 63k, I think. We'll go and have a look at them in just a second. So I bought him for 63k for Mane. 63.5k for Mane. That's the Jovetic that just won't sell. I don't know why I keep listing him. And this Niang as well. It's just because I've got them in my relist all pile. And 63.5k. So if Mane scores or gets an assist, because I've got them on open bid, it's likely someone bid on open bid on them. If not, I might have lost a bit of tax. But for me, it's worth the risk to try and gain an extra 30-40k heading in towards Team of the Season. But that leaves me like with a nice bench. And although I'm saving for Team of the Season, packing that Dybala has given me a huge boost that I just didn't expect. And like I say, with that Sterling not doing the best, I don't know if how much is the 87 in for Mane? 247 for him, 230. Now, Mane's out for the season, so his ones to watch is not going to get an upgrade. Even if he gets a Team of the Season, it won't affect the ones to watch card. So I'll just buy the cheapest one. Would be the ideal solution here. So if there's an 86 there for 197, I don't want that. What do we get for 222? Still just the 86s. I don't mind paying like 230, 240 for him. because his price will pretty much hold now until Team of the Season. So once Team of the Season is announced, a few weekends before perhaps, maybe I'll look at selling him on again. But for 240,000 coins, what do we got here? So that's Sniper. Why would you put a Hawk on him? I'll take the one with Sniper. We'll pop him into my team, and we'll use him for a nice big purchase for the club. Huge purchase there. It's like the third or fourth time that we bought him. Now him and Salah are just crazy. Like, they got crazy good stats. But yeah, this Mane card, I know doesn't he only have a 3-star weak foot, but I think he's just going to be a lot more influential for me than Raheem Sterling was. Like, Sterling, as good as he is, now that everybody's got like all these like super teams and super defenders and stuff, he gets caught short a few times here or there. So putting Mane back into this team, 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, better stats than Sterling, he's going to be our go-to guy. So the teams have been great, guys, as well, as I say. I had to put Torres and Suarez both on the bench because they both got injured. Unbelievable, wasn't it? Yeah, the teams have been great. And as I say, 3 losses in 15 games, that's not too bad. You know what I mean? Like, my main concern, as I explained last week or in a few episodes ago, my main concern is making sure we get Elite 1 for the month, regardless of the weekly reward. So getting up to 28 wins every week is paramount. And we put ourselves in a really good position to do that this week. With our first 15 games. I'm not saying we definitely will. And your main man, Dybala, there has actually had a great time. 11 goals in 8 games with 1 assist. Can't complain about that. But that's just my thoughts and feelings after the end of it, guys. We'll go and take a look at the FUT Champs right now. So like I say, 12 wins. So I need 16 more wins from 25 games to get the 28 that I need. I can't imagine that I won't get to 28 wins this weekend league. I might not get to 29 and get elite, but I can't imagine that I'll flop so hard that I won't get 16 wins out of 25 games. And that will, of course, be important for the monthly reward. So we're already at 41. We're already almost at at silver 1. Obviously, I'm going to go into every game hoping to... Congratulations to Bateson, by the way. I think he's got 30. Look at that. He can get 37 wins altogether. That's insane. Yeah, hopefully I can go on. I'm going to go into with the idea to try and win every game, but you never know if you do or if you don't. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.